Don't you worry, don't you cry. I can promise it gets better in time. Keep your head up, keep your shine. Hold my hand up, it gets better in time.
Hi guys, I'm Ree. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, babe, hit the subscribe button because you're gonna want to stay. If you're returning, hey besties, it's so good to see you guys again. So as you can tell by today's title, we're getting into another meal prep with Ree. You guys have been loving these videos and I promise I'll keep putting them out there if you guys keep watching them. Today's video is short, sweet, and to the point. I'm going to feature two recipes, one that you could have for breakfast or lunch and one that you can have for lunch or dinner. Those of you guys who've been following my channel for a little bit know that I don't really eat breakfast, so I'm gonna make oatmeal this morning. I'm gonna make a baked oatmeal. I'm gonna do a little bit of a spin of everybody's favorite apple overnight oat recipe, but instead of doing the overnight oats, I'm going to bake them just to give you guys a little bit of variety. So I don't eat breakfast, but I had it for lunchtime, but it's technically a breakfast food, so feel free to eat them whenever you want. And then for dinner, I'm going to be having some steak and stir-fry veggies. You guys can definitely change up your proteins. If you guys are vegetarian, pescatarian, just swap your proteins. I just want to give you a disclaimer. I am not a professional. I am working with a nutritionist and my trainer, and they have me on a plan that is working the best for me. Remember, these videos are just to give you creative food inspo. I'm not telling you that these are the exact foods, portions, seasonings that you guys have to use. I'm just giving you guys some extra recipes to add to your meal plan just to add a little bit of razzle dazzle, because we know how it is. We are already in October. We're more than halfway through the year, and some of us, I know, including myself, have fell off at one point or another, but we are back. We are back and we are holding ourselves accountable so that we are prepared for the holiday season, because I know me, around the holiday season times, I tend to splurge when my family's making food. So I'm really being intentional these next couple of months of the year to make sure that I'm fueling my body with all of the foods that it needs to help me continue to meet my health and fitness goals, while also allowing myself to enjoy the yummy foods that my family makes over the holidays. So before we jump in, I will have the macros for each meal at the end of the recipe. So if you are triggered by that, just skip through it, babe, because that's not what I want for you guys. I just want you guys to take the food, take the ideas, and run with it. Please feel free to make everything your own. I just want to say that again. I just do what works best for me. Please don't think that I'm telling you guys this is exactly what you need to do, the exact techniques, any of that, because that's not it. Your girl's not a professional. But now, without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and jump into this meal prep. Okay, so for my first recipe, I'm making a play on my favorite apple cinnamon overnight oats. I featured this overnight oat recipe on a video I posted several months ago. We're almost at like 470,000 views on it, which is insane. So thank you guys so much. I always get a lot of questions and comments about how I prepare my overnight oats and if I heat them up, because some people don't love overnight oats, which I totally get. But this time around, I decided to take that recipe minus the chia seeds and bake the oatmeal. And honestly, I might like this one more. So what you're gonna need for this oatmeal is obviously some oats, some unsweetened vanilla almond milk, vanilla extract, cinnamon, honey, salt, and 3 Honeycrisp apples. I also used 2 eggs. I only had one in my hand, but I did end up using 2. And then of course, you can't forget baking powder and baking soda. So to start, I'm just prepping the fruit by finely dicing the apples. Honestly, there were so many apples. I felt like I was chopping forever, but I cut them this small so that everything would bake relatively quickly in the oven. I didn't want super huge chunks and I wanted to get more of them in there. So once I finished chopping them, I just squeezed on a little bit of lemon juice and set them aside until I was ready to use them. So in a large bowl, I combine 2 cups of quick oats, 3/4 of all of the apples, 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. Now that might seem excessive, but if you know, you know. I have this sick obsession with cinnamon, and honestly, if I wasn't filming, I probably would have added 3, but that's just me. Followed by a teaspoon of baking powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and a 1/2 teaspoon of pink Himalayan sea salt. Next, I added in my wet ingredients, which are 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, a 1/2 cup of honey, and 1 full cup of unsweetened almond milk. I was only going to use 1 egg, but then I saw that this mixture needed a little bit more binding, so I cracked in a 2nd egg, and then you're just going to mix and mix and mix until your oatmeal is well combined. So overall, my oatmeal mixture weighed out to be 1,272 grams. So I split the mixture between 6 little ramekins. I purchased these ramekins from Amazon. They will be linked down below in the description box because I just know I'm gonna get those questions because they're so cute. So I just ended up portioning out 212 grams per each little ramekin before topping them off with the remaining apples and a little bit of cinnamon before popping them into the oven. I popped them in the oven and baked them at 375 degrees for about 35 to 40 minutes. I could have cooked them at a higher temperature. I just didn't want to burn them, and now here they are and they look beautiful. Your house is going to smell amazing, and it literally was like the easiest meal to make. So I'm just going to wait for them to cool and then pop on their cute little lids and call it a day. Just in case you're wondering, I just take them from out of the fridge daily, pop them in the microwave for 2 minutes, and this is actually the last one. This is the 6th day and it's still moist. It was so freaking good. I also don't like the word moist. I'm sorry for saying it twice, but yes, it was delicious. So for our next meal, I'm getting into some steak and veggie stir fry. So I just seasoned 4 New York strip steaks and seasoned them on both sides with the spicy Grill Mates Montreal steak seasoning because it is the best steak seasoning ever. Fight somebody else on this. It just is what it is. And I'm just going to sear it on both sides until the inside is medium well. Now it's on to veggie prep. I'm just going to be chopping up 3 medium zucchinis into bite-sized pieces. I did some half moon shapes, and then for the bigger ones, I quartered them and chopped them. I kept them relatively thin so that they wouldn't take that long to cook, and then moved on to 1 yellow pepper and 1 orange pepper, keeping them relatively small and diced, but feel free to cut them to your thickness and size liking. Now on to flipping my steaks. I think I could have let them sit just a little bit longer to get more color on the top because I prefer meat with color, but that's just me. I think this took about 4 to 5 minutes per side. Moving on to the rest of my veggies, I'm just going to chop up in a medium dice 1/2 of a red onion, and then in a large bowl, I'm going to combine all of the veggies that you saw me chop up, plus 1 bag of broccoli and 2 cartons of white sliced mushrooms. And then I'm going to season with the following seasonings on the screen. Feel free to add as much or as little as you would like. I probably should have seasoned them while they were on the stove, but I don't know what I was thinking here. I always get the comment that I use too much garlic. I prefer more garlic. That's just me, but please feel free to portion out your seasonings and spices as you would like. Then in the same pan that I seared my steaks in, I'm going to add the first half of the veggies and stir fry them with a little bit of lower sodium soy sauce until they're still a little bit crunchy on the inside but soft enough on the outside. my steaks come to about room temperature, and the veggies are still cooling right now. But once they've cooled, I'm gonna go ahead and put them in my meal prep containers to store in the fridge for the week. I will say that each of these meals held up for 6 days in the fridge. I had no problems with any of the meat, veggies, or the oatmeal. So I did make a 6th portion, but I was getting ready to eat that for dinner when I made it. So that's why you don't see the 6th one here, but this made enough for 5 dinners and it was delicious, even on the 6th day, like literally so good. So this is basically going to conclude this week's meal prep. If you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Also be sure to turn on your post notifications. That way you can be notified every time your girl drops a new video. And until next time, babes, I'll see you on my next.